Welcome to the Pacific Northwest, home of the Seattle Nemesis, here in Week 11 of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. The Nemesis will play host to the Canton Classics here for the nightcap of Week 11 on Saturday Night Football. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Eric Vincent alongside Aaron Alexander, Justin Reside, and Ron Haynes in the stats truck for us this evening at Bank Michigan Stadium. And Aaron, this ought to be a good matchup here this evening. Seattle looking for their first win on the season. Canton fighting for their playoff lives. And it is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight towards the finish for the playoffs.
Yeah, Canton's been on a bit of a hot streak. They have 4 straight wins coming into this one. Seattle, they haven't found their first win yet. They claim mighty close last week, though, only losing by 2 to the Vancouver Legion. So potentially this could be the game that we Seattle secure that first victory.
And Seattle actually commanded that game for the majority of that ball game. Very good red zone defense for the Nemesis a week ago against a very impressive Vancouver team. Just wasn't in the cards for Seattle, unfortunately for them. They've had a couple close calls this season, and it just hasn't panned out for them just yet. And Canton is on a hot streak, as you mentioned, 4 games in a row. They have won, coming fresh off a bye week. It's going to be a very good ball game. It's going to be a very contested ball game, I feel.
Yeah, and the reason that I think this could be the one that Seattle ends up winning is because Canton could be a bit content having come off of that extra week of rest.
Both of these teams, expansion teams here in Season 19 of the SFL. First time meeting each other, and Canton will get the football to start things off here in Seattle. And Christian Ronald Suey will boot the ball down the field. Fielded right around the 5-yard line is Canton. Good return there by Al Dillapre Sr., the former Sioux Falls Sparrow, as he brings it out to the 33-yard line, and that's where we'll see Cameron Curtis come out, the former Fort Worth Toro. And he will go ahead and come out his 4th season in the league.
Yeah, Dillapre doing a great job on that return to get Canton into some half-decent field position here. Of course, being an expansion team, a lot of fresh faces, but a lot of veterans coming over from other teams in the offseason to join this new expansion franchise.
And they're going to start off in the gun. Curtis will throw. He's going to throw far sideline. What a dime there to Mike Twinscrew, another former Fort Worth Toro. And it looks like he didn't quite get the foot in bounds. They'll call it incomplete there, Aaron.
Yeah, former Toro to former Toro, like you mentioned. I think Curtis waited just a bit too long for Twinscrew to get that separation, which is going to force that to be called incomplete by the referees. Great job by the linesman seeing that 1 foot out of bounds.
Curtis this time under center. He's going to hand it off to Robert Johnson, the former LA Lycan. He'll get a couple yards. That'll bring us up to 3rd down. We'll get a look at the Classics on offense quickly. Cameron Curtis at quarterback. Robert Johnson, the running back we just saw there. Chris Comisac, the fullback. KJ Alishow, the wide receiver, along with Kendra Hall, Al Dillapre Sr., and Mike Twinscrew. Jack Wall, the tight end, and Girth Lord, the center. 3rd and 8, 7-step drop. Curtis airs it out over the middle into coverage and incomplete. It was looking for Kendra Hall, their big-time weapon coming over from Vancouver in the offseason, but couldn't quite find her, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, that one stopped by Ethan Kai, one of the owners in his 8th season. You mentioned Alishow earlier, one of the 2 rookies that actually own this Canton Classics team. The other we'll see on the defensive side of the ball in Adam Chance.
So a 3 and out to start things off for Canton. Doug Six going to handle the punting duties for the Classics. Fielded at about the 30-yard line. Good start and stop there for Zachary Patton, and he'll bring it out to the 37-yard line. Trellis Blanton, the quarterback here, the rookie out of Albuquerque, the 3rd overall pick, comes out to handle the Nemesis on offense.
Yeah, fresh off of a win in the minor leagues with those Albuquerque Adams. He was down there in the minors for a while, finally gets a call up with the new expansion team here in Seattle. We'll see how he starts this drive here for the Nemesis.
He's going to start off under center. He's got 3 wideouts to work with. Instead, he'll hand it off to his running back, Jalen Wells, and he'll get maybe a yard on that play as we get a look at the Nemesis on offense. Trellis Blanton at quarterback, Jalen Wells the running back, Scott Powell at fullback, Zachary Patton, Dean Jackson, David Gears, and T. DeQueen all at wide receiver. Paulie Truth the tight end, and Sean Sullivan the left tackle for the Nemesis. I formation this time for Seattle. Blanton will throw. Going to throw it over the middle, finds Gears, and that's going to be first down yardage out to midfield. Good pitch and catch there for the Nemesis.
Yeah, Blanton and Gears getting a big connection there. Former rivals down in the minor leagues. Gears coming up from Lexington in the minor leagues.
Teammates here in the pros, though, and a first down and a free play here this time for Seattle. Nothing doing for Blanton. Going to check it down to his running back, and that's Jalen Wells, who gets about maybe 4 or 5 yards on the play, so they'll probably accept the penalty here, Aaron.
Yeah, I have to see who this offsides gets called on. That's on the Porterhouse. Chris Porter, the defensive end, got a bit jumpy on that one. He's going to give Seattle a free play. Getting back to David Gears earlier, he's been an absolute great receiver for this Canton Classics team, or for this Nemesis team, excuse me. One of 2 receivers in this game that's top 10 in yards a catch.
Handoff this time to the fullback for Seattle, and that's Scott Powell with his first carry of the ball game, getting close to first down yardage there. Might be just shy of the line to gain.
Yeah, Scott Powell, the fullback, meets up with a pair of his former minor league teammates in the likes of Zachary Penn and the aforementioned Gears.
So a minor league affair here for the Nemesis. I formation. Blanton going to swing it out there, and that's going to be first down yardage for Jalen Wells as he gets it across the 40-yard line, close to the 35, and that'll move the sticks.
Yeah, and this is the kind of drive that Seattle needed to start here early on. Canton, with their receiving core, has ample opportunity to throw some shots downfield and score in a hurry, but Seattle's doing a great job, not only with getting the ball downfield, but also with clock management to try and limit the amount of time Canton has the ball in this one so far.
Blanton with 4 wide this time under center. Short drop. Going to sidearm it over the middle. Caught. First down yardage out across the 25, close to the 20-yard line, and close to the SFL red zone we go.
Yeah, speaking of minor league teammate reunions, Trellis Blanton catches up with a former teammate out in Albuquerque, and Paulie Truth, the tight end, who caught that ball. So a lot of pre-built chemistry between a lot of these players here in Seattle with the time they spent with each other in the minor leagues.
Only a matter of time before that catches on here in the pros. 2 wideouts towards the top of the formation for Blanton. He'll throw that way on a crossing pattern to Gears, who gets first down yardage out across the 10 to about the 9. First and goal for Seattle.
Yeah, Trellis has been doing a great job so far in this one. His throwing motion is a bit different from what you see from some of the other quarterbacks here. But so far in this game, at least, it's been doing wonders for him. He's perfect in completions and attempts so far, just under 50 yards for the young quarterback.
Seattle off to a fast start here at home, trying to get their first win on the season. Offset eye, handoff, goes to Jalen Wells, slips a defender, has blocking in front. He's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Nemesis.
Yeah, Jalen Wells does an absolutely beautiful job keeping those legs turning, not allowing that first defender to get a hold of him for very long. And Seattle finds a way to strike early on this one after an absolutely beautiful drive. That one 8 plays for 66 yards, resulting in that 9-yard touchdown run by Jalen Wells.
Seattle striking first here, and certainly a much faster start and much smoother start between these two teams for their first possessions here this evening. Canton going 3 and out, and as you mentioned, Aaron, Seattle going on that long touchdown drive and a great run there by Jalen Wells to top things off for the hometown Nemesis. Could have possibly been blocked there, but Ronald Suey will get that up and through, and that'll make it 7-0 here for the Seattle Nemesis. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And we'll see another return here for Al Dillapre Sr. Inside his own 5, following blockers, trying to bounce it to the near sideline, slips a defender. Good return there for Dillapre as he gets out across the 40-yard line before he's finally brought down at the 42.
Yeah, even better field position for their second drive does Dillapre get for his team. The last one at the 33, he gets an extra 9 on this return to start Canton at their own 42. So just 8 yards shy of midfield to start this drive for Canton.
We'll have to see how the Classics offense responds here. As we mentioned, the playoff race is very, very cloudy at this particular point in time. There's so many different teams in a fight for a playoff spot, and it is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight to the finish. Canton, one of those teams in playoff contention as of right now. Over the middle, Twin Screw with a catch and first down yardage out to the Seattle 46-yard line. Just like that, they're in opponent territory.
Yeah, much better start to this drive for Canton. The former Toro to former Toro connection that they tried to start with last time connects inbounds this time. Good for about 11 there, I believe. Check that. That's 18 for Twin Screw on that catch.
And a much better start since they went 3 and out on their first possession. Already with a first down here in one play. Under 6 to go in the opening frame. Curtis, pressure collapsing around him, and he'll get it over the middle, close to the 40-yard line. Mark him down at the 41, and that's Kendra Hall.
Yeah, you don't usually see Kendra Hall on those short routes. She's usually more of a deep threat receiver. But Hall gets a great haul on that catch. First down to pick up 5.
3 wide, offset eye, handoff, and man, what a great defensive push from the Seattle defense. Sean Parent getting in there and making the stop, the TFL.
Yeah, Sean Parent, another rookie out of Lexington. One of 2 first-round picks by this Seattle Nemesis team. Comes up absolutely huge on second down. Going to bring a 3-yard loss on that one.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 8. Curtis to throw, pressure in his face, avoids it, and finds a receiver at the bottom of the screen. First down yardage, KJ Alasho.
Yeah, I thought that Catherine Horrell, another former Fort Worth Toro, was going to get the sack on her former quarterback. A great job by Cameron Curtis, though, to step up in the pocket and get that throw into the hands of the rookie, KJ Alasho.
So another fresh set of downs here for Canton. Curtis quickly fires it towards the far sideline, caught for a 5-yard gain. And that was over to the tight end, Jack Wall. We're going to look at the Seattle defense here quickly. Sean Parent at defensive end, along with Aaron Stein. Greg Ward and Catherine Horrell are the defensive tackles. KT Horrell, David Horrell, and Matthias Citrion are the linebackers. Daniel Valentine, Ethan Kai, the corners. Kevin Smoker, Brady Clark, and Nana Leahy are the safeties. Second and 5 now. Curtis, empty set, gonna throw it. Far sideline, bobbled and incomplete. He was looking for Johnson. Robert Johnson just couldn't hold on to the football, Aaron.
Yeah, very rare for a veteran like Johnson to bobble a pass like that. A blessing in disguise, though, for Canton that Seattle's not able to pick off the tip drill. It's going to bring up a 3rd medium, though, here for Cam Curtis and company.
They're within Rob M's field goal range here, although certainly not a gimme from this location. They've got an opportunity on 3rd and 5 to move the sticks. Curtis over the middle, first down, out to the 15-yard line, and that will indeed move those chains for Canton.
Yeah, Al Dillapre Sr. is going to get not only the first down for Canton, but also get the Classics into the red zone for the first time in this one. And this has been a methodical drive for Curtis and the Classics.
Just what they needed after a 3 and out on their opening drive.
Be a good band name, Curtis, in the classics.
That sounds like a great band name. We should look into that. 4 wide, Curtis, end zone, diving catch, touchdown for Mike Twinscrew. What a play.
Yeah, there's going to be a late hit penalty on that one, but it's not going to matter. Mike Twinscrew gets some great separation on that play, and the diving grab. It is going to be Brady Clark, the 8-year free safety that's called for the late hit, but again, not going to matter on this one, as Mike Twinscrew gives Canton a chance to tie this ball game up.
That was an incredible play there by Mike Twinscrew, and a perfect pass, honestly, from Cameron Curtis. That was exactly where he needed to put the football, and Twinscrew just with the acrobatic catch to make it a score and to hopefully even things up here as long as Rob Ems knocks it through. And he does, so it is a 7-7 ball game here in Seattle. The Canton Classics are partnering with Stack Up and Wounded Warrior Project this month and need your help to assist veterans and their families. You can find out more and donate to the cause at cantonclassics.com/charity. These campaigns are running until the end of the month, so please stop by and help the Classics make a difference for veterans in need. And we love the charitable contributions that Canton and their team has put forth here in the SFL, and those are certainly two worthy causes, so you would certainly want to stop by that website and contribute anything that you can. As Seattle will start off from the 24-yard line here after the kickoff return, and we'll see what they can do with 3:48 to go here in the quarter.
Yeah, not the best of returns for Zachary Patton, but it's only a matter of time before he breaks out a huge one. He's currently one of the best returners in the league, currently first in both total returns and return yards on kickoffs.
And Wells is going to get bottled up near the line of scrimmage. They'll mark it as a no gain, and that TFL, or I guess just a regular tackle since it was at the line of scrimmage, Gary Clem has the tackle. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, one of many veterans coming over to join this expansion team. Again, of course, it's going to be the same for both of these franchises in the opening season of their campaigns.
Blanton over the middle and incomplete. Good defense there by the Classics, and we're going to look at that defense here right now. Chris Porter, Mike All, Odette Boudreau, and Gary Burney all on the front four. Mark Groneck, Gary Clem, and Adam Chance are the linebackers. Connor Darian and Jay Rock are the corners. Frank Bernstein, Bob Funk, and Evan Lacey round out the safeties for the defensive backfield. 4 wide for Seattle on 3rd and long. Blanton going to throw it near sideline into coverage, but it's still caught short of the line to gain, but a good catch again by David Gears. And again, we've talked about Gears. He has tripled his yardage total from just a season ago, his rookie season.
Yeah, shifting from Vancouver over to Seattle has been an absolute career renaissance for David Gears in his sophomore season. Playing a much bigger role here with Seattle than he did in Vancouver, as we see Lilac Butte punt this ball away.
And that's going to be fair caught by Dillapre, who's been fairly consistent in the return game, at least on kick returns so far. And Canton will set up shop at the 31-yard line with 2:35 to go, and they'll see if they can take the lead here for the first time this evening.
Yeah, this will be the worst field position that's Canton has started with, and it comes on a punt of all things, which is a bit unusual, especially at this point in the game.
From the gun, Curtis. Good throw there, finds Dillapre, and that'll be a catch of 6 yards out to the Canton 38-yard line.
Yeah, good start to this drive for Canton. Definitely what you want to start with after forcing your opponent to punt the ball away here. Definitely not what Seattle wanted in the slightest.
So now 2 backs behind him. Under center is Curtis. He's got 3 wideouts to work with. Pressure coming. He's going down. Seattle getting to him in a hurry, and the short drop did him no favors as Greg Ward wrapped him up.
Yeah, great job by Greg Ward, the defensive tackle, getting through Girth Ford, the center, in order to get that sack on Cameron Curtis. Not a very long sack, only a 2-yard loss, but still going to bring out a slightly longer third down and medium here for Canton.
Curtis going to swing it out to Rojo, and it's still having problems with getting his hands on the football, and that falls incomplete. It's going to be a 4th down.
Someone either get that man some stickum or throw his hands in a bit of hot water. Robert Johnson's suffering from a bit of stone hand syndrome here early in this one.
That's going to result. No, you don't see that very often, and especially from a back of Johnson's caliber. So that's going to result in another punt here for Canton in a 7-7 ball game. 6 with a good punt inside the 30 and out across the 30 to the 32-yard line is where Seattle will set up once more.
Yeah, great spin move by Zachary Pent in order to get some extra yardage out of that punt return. Talking about David Garrisardi, and I think a part of the reason why is because he's playing much more the wide receiver one role here in Seattle, whereas he was behind the likes of Kendra Hall back in Vancouver. Of course, she now playing on the opposite side of the field.
Jalen Wells with the carry off tackle. Following blockers. Good patient run for Jalen Wells as he gets 20 yards out to the Canton 45-yard line.
Yeah, an absolute great run by Jalen Wells there. That one good for 27, almost 30 yards on that run. A great start on this drive by Jalen Wells and company.
And that was a great run there, Aaron. Like I said, very patient, following his blockers, not being too forceful as far as running the football goes, and he gets plenty out of it.
Yeah, it took the free safety, Bob Funk, in order to stop that run from going any further.
And now another heavy run formation. We'll see another carry for Wells. Wells looks like he might have had the block on the edge, but Canton sealed it up in a hurry, and that's going to be a gain of about a couple.
Yeah, it was either try and go around the edge and potentially get tackled or go through the seal on the edge and still get tackled. So I can't really question Wells' decision-making there. There wasn't a whole lot that he could do.
Blanton doesn't like something at the line. He's switching things up with an offset eye. Short drop. Going to sling it out to Wells. Wells with a host of Canton defenders there to bring him down after only maybe a gain of a couple.
Yeah, a bit of a slower drive here after that big run by Wells, but I can't be mad at it with only 5 seconds left here in the first. I think we may see the end of the quarter here.
Adam Chance with that tackle there, and that will indeed be the end of the first quarter of play. Very back and forth ball game so far. Seattle 7, Canton 7, and we've got more action to come here on the other side. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Stay with us. Blanton setting up in the gun to start the second quarter of play. Takes the snap. Going to fire it down towards the near sideline. Caught. First down yardage. And that'll be out here, I think, the 30-yard line. And that'll be a first down there for T. DeQueen, the rookie.
Yeah, the rookie getting her first grab of the ball game. Good for a first down. Definitely what Seattle needed coming into the start of the quarter.
Offset eye for Seattle now. Blanton, far sideline, finds Patton, and that's going to be for a gain of maybe a couple, 2 or 3 yards. And that'll get out to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and both quarterbacks have been doing a great job spreading the ball around. Cameron Curtis in this one has hit all of his receiving core. He hasn't hit Robert Johnson just yet with any passes. We haven't really seen much from Chris Komisak either. On Seattle's side, though, only one receiver hasn't caught a pass yet, though Blanton has hit Jalen Wells for a couple.
Handoff to the aforementioned Wells, and it gets stood up right at the line of scrimmage. Gary Clem getting in there and making the stop for no gain.
Yeah, unfortunate for Jalen Wells getting stood up at the line. They're going to bring up third and medium here for Seattle. They've already converted on a third down previously on this drive. We'll see if they can convert this one, potentially get into the Canton red zone.
So offset eye on 3rd and 6. Blanton finds an open man there. Can she get it? No, T. DeQueen couldn't quite get past the sticks, and that's going to end up being a 4th down.
A part of me wants to see Seattle go aggressive here and try and get this first down. We may see them try and pull Canton with the hard count.
You might get it here.
Yeah, it's also, they may decide, though, to take the timeout and put it to the boot of Christian Ronald Soy.
Suey? Definitely some hard count action, but it does not look like they are going to get Canton to jump. Seattle will burn a timeout there, and that'll freeze it at 9:08 to go.
Last time I checked, EK, we're not in Arkansas.
Oh no, but I can't resist the pick call.
Fair enough.
Can never resist the pick call. So after Seattle trying to get Canton to jump off sides there and failing, having to burn a timeout, we will now see a field goal attempt. And this is from the far hash. Guesstimate about a 40-yard field goal here. Good snap. Hold is down. Kick is up, and it is through from 40 yards by Christian Ronald Sue. And that'll put 3 more points on the board for Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle find themselves with the lead yet again. They've been getting some great drives together. It's almost like Seattle is a team that in any other circumstances would be 0-8. That just goes to show how excellent the competition here is in the SFL.
And we continue to get great competition every week here in our league. Seattle looking to get their first win of the season here at home against Canton, who the Classics are fighting for their playoff lives here at 4-4 as Dillapre makes it out to his 25-yard line with 9:01 to go here in the half.
Yeah, that Dillapre's worst return on the day. His first 2 were fantastic. The first to the 33, the second to the 42. This now the deepest start that Canton has gotten.
We'll see what Curtis and company have in store for the Seattle defense here. Handoff to Robert Johnson, and he'll get maybe a few yards after getting suplexed into the dirt, and that'll end up being a 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Rojo finally on the positive side of 0 with that run. Only 3 yards, but 3 yards is exactly what you need to start a drive like this.
And a good tackle by KT Horrell there. 2nd and 7, offset eye for the Classics. Curtis going to swing it out to Rojo, who gets his hand on the ball and buries the defender to boot, but gets buried himself once again by the aforementioned Horrell.
I think somebody finally melted Rojo's hands. He finally gets a reception on the day. For those wondering, the SFL now based in Demon Country out in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Curtis, near sideline, caught, and that is 1st down yardage for Twin Screw, as the defense was right on him there, but still able to get enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, that just shows the veteran presence of Twin Screw. To answer your question, EK, you answer it by not questioning how you get Natchitoches out of how the name of the town is actually spelled.
Oh, no, I've learned that lesson a long time ago with Louisiana.
Only in Louisiana.
Yes, you never ask how a Louisiana town is spelled. It's just, it defies reason. Curtis changing things up. Quick run there and a quick tackle by Seattle as they stop the fullback Comisac right at the line of scrimmage. And again, that's KT Horrell, as she's been busy on this drive.
Yeah, KT Horrell, the inside linebacker, has been absolutely everywhere. Kamasak on that run now means that every member of the Canton Classics offense that is eligible to touch the football has touched the football.
So spreading the wealth is Curtis and the Classics. He'll set up in the empty. Throws it over the middle for first down yardage and more. Out across the 50 to the Seattle 44-yard line. The tight end, Jack Wall, getting in on the act.
Yeah, and a part of me surprised Cameron Curtis was able to get that ball away. His pocket absolutely deteriorated. But able to find a open Jack Wall for 27 yards. Sets up a big first down here for Canton in Seattle territory.
Curtis has been very impressive so far this evening. 10 of 14, over 100 yards and a touchdown. Fresh set of downs now for him to work with as he finds a receiver over the middle. Good gain of 7 or 8 yards, brings us up second and short.
Yeah, it was the backup tight end, Ty Tend, on the reception there. Good 8-yard pickup for him.
So we approach the 6-minute mark to go here in the first half. Offset eye for Canton. Rojo gets the handoff, trying to bounce it to the outside, but again, the linebackers getting in there and wreaking havoc on this offense. KT Horrell with another tackle.
Yeah, KT Horrell has been doing absolute wonders for this inside linebacking core for Seattle. She's now at 5 tackles already on the day.
We'll see if she can make the stop on this 3rd and short. Curtis, receiver caught inside the 20 to the 18-yard line of Seattle. Into the SFL red zone we go. It's Kendra Hall.
You know, it's kind of hard to stop Canton when Kendra Hall gets open. Just being realistic here. A great route, a bit soft on coverage there was Ethan Kai, which allowed Kendra Hall to get open. That one good for 18 is going to set up Canton now inside of Seattle's red zone.
2 backs behind Curtis. He's under center. 3 wideouts to work with here. It's going to be a carry for Rojo, trying to find some room up the middle of the field, and he'll get stood up and knocked down at the 14-yard line after a gain of 5.
Yeah, good 5-yard pickup up the middle, though. Definitely maybe not the most ideal outcome, but an ideal outcome for your running back on a dive play like that.
Curtis under center. Single back offset. Penalty flag on the play. Over the middle and incomplete. He was looking for twin screw on the route there. Good tight coverage for Seattle, but we'll see what the penalty marker is.
I believe there's going to be a free first down here for Canton with an offsides. Be called on number 95. That is the backup defensive end, Deem Daciana. Gets a bit jumpy. Getting a bit of play time here.
So that'll be a free 5 yards there for Canton off of Daciana's early jump.
First and goal here, I believe.
I believe so. No, close, but no cigar.
2nd and inches. Close enough.
I formation once again. Handoff once again to Rojo, and Rojo again gets buried, courtesy of KT Horrell, who's been all over the football field here on this drive.
Yeah, Horrell not only all over the football field, but all over Rojo on this drive.
So a short gain of 2 brings up 2nd and goal.
For Kendra Hall here on a slant route.
Curtis trying to find that. Instead, he's going to get illegal touching, I believe, by hitting the back of one of his offensive linemen.
Yep, that will be illegal receiver. It's called for illegal forward pass. Last I checked, you can't have an eligible center downfield as a receiver.
You know, it would be funny if they were able to do that.
Oh my goodness, it'd be so great. Probably see a lot more offensive linemen.
Oh, absolutely. Curtis going end zone and caught! Touchdown! We've seen 2 different players catch 2 miraculous touchdown grabs. This one is Kendra Hall.
Hey, I was delayed to play. I told you it was going to go to Kendra Hall eventually. What a snag out of the hands of the defense, though, by Kendra Hall. It's going to give Canton a 3, potentially
3:32 to go.
Trellis Blanton on the season, as well as Cameron Curtis, both hitting 300 attempts in the season so far. Very similar stories for these two quarterbacks, not only in season stats, but also so far today.
Fielded inside his own end zone. Zachary Patton going to bring it out to the 23-yard line with just shy of 3.5 to go here in the first half of play. Eric Vincent alongside Aaron Alexander, Justin Raside, and Ron Haynes in the stat truck for us. And it's been a good back-and-forth ball game. It looks like Canton finally getting some momentum on their side here. We'll see how Seattle responds.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a shootout. Both defenses have been doing incredibly well, but the offenses have just been a bit too much at times for either defense to really get a handle on.
Handoff, Jalen Wells following his blockers to perfection as he cuts it back towards the middle of the field, averaging 6 yards a clip and getting first down yardage to the 35.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him bounce that one outside. He definitely had a lot more space there than if he cut it up the middle. The middle was a bit crowded by not only Classics defenders, but also his own blockers. But still gets good enough for the first down on that run. Jalen Wells now over 50 yards so far in this ball game. We're slowly approaching the 2-minute warning.
Can't forget the zebra slowly grazing in the middle of the football field as well. Full house formation for the Nemesis. Handoff again goes to Wells. Good sidestep there. Falling blockers, near sideline, off tackle, inside the 40-yard line to the 39 of Canton. What a run there by Jalen Wells.
Let's see if we had that on the last play.
True.
I kid, but no, another great run by Jalen Wells, another great blocking scheme by the Seattle, not only the Seattle offensive line, but the wide receivers as well, getting some great blocks. This run game for Seattle's really starting to pick up. Jalen Wells is approaching 100. He's at 10 yards a clip now after that run.
3 wide. Blanton in the gun. He'll throw. Over the middle. Catch me. T to Queen to the Canton 22-yard line and another first down for Seattle.
Yeah, the rookie's starting to get her fair share of love here in this one. She's now 3 of 3 on the day. But her just right around 25 yards receiving so far today.
Yeah, all of these receivers really have done a good job. Patton is really the only one that hasn't seen a ton of targets, along with Dean Jackson, who has seen no targets. But Gears and DeQueen have both been very, very effective. Paulie Truth getting in on the action as well, as we'll see another handoff to Wells. Wells with good blocking in front of him, powering his legs forward and getting first down yardage to the 11-yard line. And we've got an injured defenseman on the field, and that is terrible for Canton.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're a fan of the Classics, you don't want to see the Porterhouse go down. I think may have just fallen a bit awkwardly after the guard Ty Dublin came through. Not only was Porterhouse double teamed, but just got absolutely cleaned by the guard.
So with that injury stoppage, we'll see one more play before the 2-minute warning here. Blanton finds Gears, and Gears gets close to first down yardage. Tackled out of bounds at the 3, and that is the 2-minute warning with 1:57 to go here in the half. Canton up by 4. Seattle is knocking on the door. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Alongside Aaron Alexander, my name is Eric Vincent. We have Justin Reside and Ron Haynes in the stats truck for us this evening. Seattle trying to go back up on top. Jalen Wells with the carry into the end zone. Touchdown, Nemesis.
Yeah, Jalen Wells now has 2 rushing touchdowns to his credit. Still going to be just under 100 yards after that short jaunt into the end zone, but it is going to give Seattle the lead again. Just after the 2-minute warning. And this has been a great game for Seattle. It definitely would have something you would have wanted to see a lot more of, especially earlier in the season. But definitely a lot of good signs to look forward to in season 20 for Seattle.
Well, and sometimes you see this, especially being a GM yourself, my friend, is that, sometimes those progressions, they start to hit a little bit more towards the latter part of the season, and you start to gain that momentum that you were searching for all season long as Seattle takes a 3-point lead now.
Yeah, and especially makes a lot of sense for Seattle, who have a lot of really, really young players on this team. You have Blanton, Powell, Jackson, DeQueen, and Sullivan all in their rookie seasons. Patton and Gears are sophomores. Pauly Truth's in his third year. And defensively, too, they have 5 rookies on defense. So it definitely makes sense for Seattle that these progressions are starting to really start to give Seattle some signs of life.
Good return there up to the 25-yard line with 1:50 to go here in the half. The SFL produces over 400 live events each year, but don't miss community content creators and their creations. Catch SFL Nights with AJ Stryker, Say It With Your Chest, Around the SFL, and more covering Season 19 and beyond. To check out archive versions of community shows, visit simulationfl.net and click the logo of your favorite form of SFL entertainment on our homepage. Curtis from the gun, play action. Oh, and he's going to get dropped. He got absolutely destroyed back at the 15-yard line. Mark him down at maybe the 18, I guess, with forward momentum. But that was Catherine Horrell. The Horrell family is getting in on this here, Aaron.
Yeah, if it's not one Horrell, it's another, and it's a horror show if you're the Canton Classics.
Clock continuing to roll. 2nd and 17 now. Curtis under center, short drop, firing it, picked off! Seattle's got to get great starting field position here with 2 timeouts to work with. And 1:14 to go, and that's Kevin Smoker getting in there and making the interception.
Yeah, speaking of rookies, that's one of the rookies there making a huge impact here for Seattle. The 105th pick in the 4th round out of Ottawa, Kevin Smoker. And let me just double check this, but that may have been his first interception of his young career. It is not the second.
Well, see, there you go. 2 is even better.
Right.
Bunched receivers for Blanton. Blanton gonna air it out. End zone. Touchdown, Seattle. Just pour it on, why don't you?
Yeah, and look who it is. Dean Jackson gets his first catch of the ball game, and it's a touchdown from quarterback Trellis Blanton. The Seattle Nemesis immediately making good on that interception by Kevin Smoker. And Seattle now with potentially a 10-point lead going into halftime. Good Lord.
And Dean Jackson, it's almost as if he was like, hey, don't forget about me. I'm right here. What's up?
Canton definitely forgot about him because he was wide open in the end zone.
Man, very good route there by the rookie. The week 3 signing for this Nemesis squad. And they immediately capitalize on the interception. Deep in opponent territory. That's exactly what you need to do if you're a young team, is capitalize on your turnovers and on your takeaways, as that makes it 24-14 now.
And you look at the efficiency of quarterback Trellis Blanton. He's only had 1 target not hit so far in this one, and he's over 100 yards now through the air.
I told you to start the day, Aaron. This was going to be one to circle. This was going to be one of those games that's going to be knockdown, drag out, back and forth all night long. And sure enough, we've gotten it.
Yeah, Seattle, though, firmly in control now going into halftime.
Absolutely, as Dillapre will make it out to the 27, 1:06 now on the clock. Still 3 timeouts for Canton to work with, so they have some time to possibly get themselves back in this ball game, as Seattle will get the second half kickoff.
Yeah, Canton definitely needs to at least get a field goal here to try and keep this game interesting. Because with Seattle coming out with the ball in the second half, they score quickly. That turns it into a 3-score game. Canton's over there tugging on the collars a bit if that happens.
Carry for Johnson, and he goes right up the middle for a gain of 4. No huddle here for Canton. Curtis to throw this time. Into coverage and incomplete, but we might get some pass interference there as there's a penalty marker on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if it's defensive or offensive, though. That's definitely going to be the key factor here. It's going to be defensive pass interference. Going to be on, unfortunate, Katie Horrell.
With all the good that she's done in this second quarter of play, that really is the lone blemish, I would say.
Yeah, not often you see a linebacker called for defensive pass interference. You usually find that in the secondary, but it's going to be to the benefit of Canton as they're going to set up on their own 40 after that penalty.
And more importantly, stops the clock at 52 seconds. Bunched receivers towards the top of the formation. Single back is Rojo. Curtis again over the middle and just past his intended receiver there, as Chris Porter, as you see, will not return to action here this evening. That is a definite hit for the Classics defense.
Yeah, the pulling guard just probably shoved the chin strap up into Porter's nose, which is what ended up causing the break. Unfortunate we won't see the veteran defensive end in this one. However, they do have Mike All.
Everyone loves Mike All. Handoff, Rojo trying to find some room and gets buried right in the middle of the field there, right around the 45-yard line of Canton. Timeout called by Canton, and that'll freeze the clock at 46 seconds.
Yeah, and I think calling the timeout is the smart thing to do here for Canton, especially after that run up the middle. It's going to be third and medium. Going to give the Classics some time to talk this over.
And they're going to need it here on this third and manageable. It's going to be a Rojo handoff, and Rojo picked the wrong hole as he gets stopped after a gain of 3, and that's going to force fourth down.
Yeah, Canton going to have to punt this ball away. Going to give Seattle maybe not long, maybe like 2 seconds, but even then with the return, this is probably going to end the first half here.
That would be my guess as well. I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of time, if any. And the Classics content to just run that play clock all the way down. Low snap, but it's gotten away by Doug Six. A good punt there. And the return is brought up past the 10-yard line, and the clock does hit triple zeros. We have reached halftime as Seattle took advantage of a very late turnover in the second quarter and immediately punched it into the end zone for 7, and that's why you see a 10-point advantage for the Nemesis over the Classics. Aaron, as we get a look at the first half stats and highlights, what are you thinking here, my friend?
I mean, so far it's kind of been all Seattle. Like, Canton has definitely gotten their offense in here and there, but between the interception by Kevin Smoker, the free safety, as well as just how efficient Seattle has been, not only with their pass game, but just their balanced attack in general. If Seattle continues the way they have been with their balanced attack, I think Canton's going to have a hard time not only catching up, but keeping up.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and it looked earlier on that maybe Canton had seized some momentum, and then Seattle just went right back to work. Marched down the football field, was able to take a 3-point advantage, and then, as we mentioned, that mistake deep in their own territory for Canton ended up being a touchdown scored for Seattle to close out the half, and they just seized the momentum right back from Canton.
Yeah, and it's one of that interception highlights one of the things that Cameron Curtis has struggled with, not only this season but in his career. He's currently one of the most picked off quarterbacks in the league, and in his short 4 seasons, he's been picked off 68 times.
That is a lot of interceptions, but he's been
limit those mistakes.
So as we mentioned, Seattle getting the second half kickoff here. Already up by 10, looking to take advantage of their early lead and extend it even further. Fielded by Patton, who takes it right up the middle of the field, and he will bring it out to the 23-yard line. And we'll see Trellis Blanton and company take over. Blanton, as you pointed out in the first half, Aaron, has been magnificent. He's virtually perfect.
Yeah, 12 of 13, 8 yards a catch, over 100 yards total. A QBR of 128. It's been a very, very clean game for this rookie quarterback.
Seattle trying to get their first win on the season. First win as a franchise as Jalen Wells takes the carry and could have broken that one, Aaron. I was waiting for that one, but he does get close to first down yardage and gets over the century mark.
Yeah, I'm telling you, one of these plays, not only with just how good Seattle has been at blocking on these stretch plays, but also with these tackles that Wells has broken. He's gonna break one out at some point. You can almost feel it in your bones.
You hit the nail on the head. It's the stretch plays, the off-tackle plays that have been blocked to perfection, and you're just waiting for Jalen Wells to explode as Blanton will throw this time and finds a wide-open David Gears. Good spin move there and gets gang tackled along the near sideline for a huge gain into Seattle, or excuse me, close to Canton territory, close to midfield at the 47.
Yeah, and David Garris, with that spin move, made poor J-Rock look absolutely silly flying through the field. A great effort, though, by the corner, and a great job by David Garris to stretch that play out even further.
So another fresh set of downs here for Blanton. Hand off to the fullback this time. And Scott Powell is only going to get maybe one on the play.
Yeah, Scott Powell hasn't really been called upon in the run game. That just his second carry so far today. But has been a good compliment to Jalen Wells. He's been great in blocking on those stretch plays like we mentioned. So even though he hasn't been really doing anything flashy, he's still a very, very crucial piece for the Seattle offense.
Offset eye this time. Canton stacking the box, going to back out into coverage. And that's Patton with a catch. And close to first down yardage, third and very, very short coming up.
Yeah, I thought Patton might have stretched over the first down marker as he was brought down. But the referee is going to spot that at Canton's 44. We could see another Scott Powell run to try to get this first. We could see a dive by Jalen Wells to try and get this first down. Playbook's wide open here for the Nemesis.
Strong side to that near sideline for this offset eye. They're going to run that way. Jalen Wells, first down yardage and more! And he's going to get to the 30-yard line. They'll mark him right there as he's finally tackled by Bob Funk in the secondary.
And it's another stretch play with another great block by the fullback. And that left guard, that pulling guard, just gets an absolutely great seal block on Nanalehi there that allows Jalen Wells the extra space he needs to turn this into even more yards. And if Canton can't contain Jalen Wells, Canton's going to have problems.
And Zachary Patton coming across and making a good clear block as well to spring Wells for a few extra yards. Certainly want to shout out the wide receivers for blocking downfield, as we don't see that nearly enough in our game. Blanton, far sideline, and that is Patton with the reception. And it's going to be a gain of 6 as he stepped out of bounds at the 23.
Yeah, Patton's starting to see a bit more of these targets with these out routes, trying to keep the Canton defense off balance. Seattle now, though, sits just outside of Canton's red zone, and the Classics defense really needs something huge in order to stop this drive in its tracks.
First possession of the second half for either team, and Seattle has chewed up a bunch of clock. Another good pass by Blanton and a great catch. You said it, Aaron, as David Gears gets inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Like, just a great one-step drop, a bit of pressure coming, and David Gears, just the laser targeting by Trellis Blanton to get that into the hands of David Gears. Absolute chef's kiss, a thing of beauty, and Seattle now has himself first and goal.
Single back offset is going to be Jalen Wells. He will get the carry right up the middle. He goes, and into the end zone he goes. Rushing touchdown number 3 for Wells.
Hat tricks everywhere. It's Jalen Wells. Rushing touchdown number 3. Another off-tackle play with great blocking. Seattle's on fire.
And again, the run game for Seattle has, as you put it, Aaron, chef's kiss. I mean, it has been fantastic. on the ground for the Nemesis, as Wells over the century mark, 3 rushing touchdowns and extending their lead with the opening possession of the second half.
And I mean, it's not just the run game though. Seattle's offensive attack has been so balanced. It's like measuring a sword, and you just find the right point instantly. That's what Seattle has done so far in this game with their offensive attack. It's been gorgeous.
Love the analogy, by the way. Love the sword analogy.
Thank you. I can't say enough good about how this game has been going for Seattle's offense.
And it needed to. You know, the dam was going to break at some point for this Nemesis squad. They were going to get one of these games where everything was clicking and firing on all cylinders. And sure enough, it has. We have seen stranger things happen, albeit Canton certainly has the opportunity to get themselves back in the ball game as Dillapre makes it out to the 27. But Seattle has taken firm control of this ball game tonight.
Yeah, if any team has the personnel, it's definitely a team like Canton. They have multiple deep ball receiving threats in the likes of Mike Twinscrew and Kendra Hall. They have a massive hunk of man at tight end in Jack Wall. So it's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility for Canton to come back in this one.
Offside eye for Canton. Rojo will get the carry, gets bottled up in the backfield, follows his blocker, slips a defender, getting close to first down yardage, and he'll get a gain of 8 out to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, credit where credit is due. Anthony Tuff, the guard, pulling on that play, not able to keep up with Rojo after the initial block, but able to keep with him enough to give Rojo some extra yardage on that run.
Handoff again to Rojo, and he gets buried. Catherine Horrell in the backfield in a hurry, and Rojo goes nowhere.
And the hurl show continues for Canton. They're going to have nightmares about Catherine and KT after this game.
Catherine Horrell, a menacing presence, 6'4", 295, as Rojo gets another carry, and again, he gets stood up right near the line of scrimmage. And I want to say that was Catherine once again getting in there for the stop, forcing 4th down.
It was. Catherine Horrell, that as the defensive tackle, has been an absolute menace, not only to Canton's offensive line, but to Rojo and at times even Cameron Curtis. She had a big 7-yard sack earlier in this ball game.
So just when Canton couldn't afford it, they pitch a 3 and out, and Seattle gets the football back up by 17 as Patton will make it out to the 35-yard line, where they'll set up with 6:33 to go here in the third. The SFL Weekly Fantasy Contest is officially up and running. Think you could draft the best team every week while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe you just want to enhance your SFL experience. Free to play, no season-long commitment, and a new contest opens every week on Tuesday night. Join now and show off your fantasy skills to the rest of the league. Contact Jack Wall, Stephen Hacker, or Hunter Norwood to join today. Heavy set formation, Jalen Wells, very productive here this evening, and he'll get a good chunk of 4 or 5 yards out to the Seattle 39.
Yeah, and I mean, even when Jalen Wells isn't breaking these big runs, it's still just these small chunks of yardage that are starting to add up.
Close to 130 yards here on the evening for Wells. We touched on his 3-touchdown hat-trick performance on the ground as well. Nemesis coming out with bunched receivers towards the bottom of the formation. 7-step drop for Blanton. He fires it over the middle and incomplete, just a little bit too far for David Gears.
Yeah, Trellis Blanton, though, showing this Canton Classics teams that even though he doesn't use it often, he has a cannon of an arm on him.
As our friend Josh Circle would say, he unleashes the dragon.
Yes, he does.
4 wide for Seattle here on 3rd and 6. Canton looking with a single high safety, and a good call there as Jalen Wells got absolutely nowhere. Canton with the stop, and that forces 4th down.
Yeah, it was Gary Burney with an absolute just bull rush through the backfield. And to his credit, he's been great in doing that this season. He's currently 4th in sacks, 10th in TFL so far this season. He's now at 50 TFLs for his career as well with that one.
So Seattle will have to punt the football away. Lilac Butte with the punting duties. Dillapre with a good spin move, and that will get him out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And we'll see what the Classics can do here as the defense holds up their end of the bargain. They're still down by 17, though, Aaron.
Yeah, but if Canton continues to play this drive like they did with some of those drives in the first quarter, there's definitely an opportunity for them to try and close this gap.
Key piece of the equation for the Nemesis is Blanton has stayed upright and he hasn't turned the football over. And Rojo is rumbling as he gets across the midfield to mark him right there at the 50 as he finally breaks through that Seattle defense.
Yeah, and that's the kind of rub we kind of been waiting for Robert Johnson to break through. Finally, the blocking works in the favor of the Canton Classics, as the likes of Catherine Horrell and KT Horrell not really able to get around the blocks that time.
Johnson very quiet here this afternoon. He's been running the football a lot, but hasn't gotten a ton of yardage to his credit, averaging less than 4 yards a clip. But that a big run there to give him a first down, and he'll get another one as he buries the defender in the dirt, and I think that was KT that he buried in the dirt there, finally getting some revenge on his evening.
Yeah, it was KT that he buried in the dirt, but David Horrell comes in to clean up the tackle there, sets up 2nd and 7 here for Canton. They're finally in Seattle territory again.
It's been a long time coming for Canton as they finally creep inside of opponent's territory. Handoff again to Johnson, and Johnson just couldn't quite break through there. And a great job getting off the block by KT and making the stop there for a 3rd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, KT has been the nemesis, shall we say, of Robert Johnson.
Ooh.
And is the reason that Rojo hasn't really been able to break anything out, bar that one run from earlier.
A ton of tackles for KT, 9 total here this evening, as it's 3rd and 5 now for Canton. Turnaround handoff, good hurdle there, gets first down yardage out across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Canton keeps things going.
You know, and I think that was Catherine Horrell that he hurdled over.
I mean, there was good penetration up front there and a huge push by the front 4 of Seattle, and Rojo with great vision to get himself first down yardage on that play. Quick fires for Curtis and couldn't quite connect with Hall on the play. That ends up being a 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, great coverage by the Nemesis there. I don't blame Cam Curtis for trying to get that ball away, especially with how much penetration this front 4 of Seattle has been getting. But the coverage just a bit too tight on Kendra Hall on that play in particular.
Hall has had a quiet evening as well. 3 catches, 35 yards, a touchdown, a very impressive touchdown to boot. But not a whole lot of action for her, and Rojo again getting stopped in the backfield. And guess who? Catherine Horrell.
Yeah, Catherine Horrell now has 3 tackles for loss on the day of 4 total. Yeah. These KT and Catherine have been menaces up the middle.
Those are the 2 names that we keep calling for Seattle. Into the air on the deflection and incomplete. As that was Ethan Kai in coverage, and great coverage it was to force the 4th down.
Yeah, I think if Cam Curtis had just thrown that ball maybe a little higher, Kendra Hall had the separation on Ethan Kai to not only catch that ball, but take it to the end zone.
Yep, and outside of field goal range here for Canton, which is a heartbreaker on top of that, as it looked like it was a decent drive. Couldn't quite make it into Rob M's range, so 6 will have to punt it away. It looks like it's going to bounce right about the 5, and into the end zone it goes. That'll bring it out to the 20-yard line for a touchback. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, all the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of the SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. Handoff to the fullback. And Scott Powell gets a couple yards. Actually, no, he'll get nothing as he stopped right at the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, it looked like he may have gotten 1 or 2, but didn't progress forward enough. Too much east-west, not enough north-south, or however that saying goes.
Sounded like coach speak there. Heavy formation here for
the Miners.
This is true. This is true. Wells will get the carry there, but Canton was geared up for it, as he'll only get maybe a couple yards. There's a good stop by Gary Clem. He's been very active today as well from his outside linebacker spot.
Yeah, and again, it was another case of Seattle's offensive line had excellent blocking, but Gary Clem just in the right place to shoot the gap to stop Jalen Wells in his tracks.
So now in 3rd and 8 for Seattle, offset eye. Blanton got to throw it far sideline, and not quite enough for the first down as Patton made the catch, but short of the line to gain.
Yeah, and I think it would be best for Seattle to just punt this ball away. Don't try anything fancy. Don't try the hard count. Don't try and go for it. Just punt it away. You're still up by 17?
There you go.
Just don't do anything fancy. You don't need to.
I knew you were having problems with math on the last game there, so I'm proud of you.
Math is hard, man.
Oh, man. That was getting very close to a blocked kick there, and that would have been great for Canton. But Dillapre is going to put forth a decent return out to the 40-yard line. Man, my heart stopped for a hot second there. And
I can't blame you for that one, but Dillapre also gets a good job on the spin move, making both of the gunners miss to get the extra yardage and give Canton good starting field position here on their own 40.
1:21 to go here in the 3rd. Canton still down by 17. We've only seen 7 points from Seattle, and that is it here in the 3rd. Handoff, Rojo, right up the middle he goes. Plenty of daylight and a first down to boot as he gets knocked down at midfield.
That spot a bit generous, I think. But
I think it was. Overturned here in the SFL. Trips towards the top of the formation there as Rojo gets the carry, and he'll get 2 or 3 yards, and that'll make it out into Seattle territory to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, the Classic's starting to balance out their offense a little bit more. They haven't hit the end zone yet, but again, when you have receivers like Kendra Hall, like Dillapre Sr., like Mike Twinscrew, a huge pass is bound to happen at some point here for Cameron.
Plenty of weapons and a talented quarterback. That's the recipe there as Curtis is going to fire it into coverage. Incomplete. He was looking for Jack Wall, the other weapon that you did not mention there, Aaron, but couldn't quite connect with him.
I mean, listen, when you have multiple weapons like Canton does, I'm bound to miss one at some point. I am only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
KJ Elisho out there is hating on you as well. Shame on you.
KJ Elisho can hate on me all he wants. He owns a team in this league.
Fair point. 4 wide for Canton. 20 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Curtis hit as he's thrown, and down he goes. Incomplete pass, and guess who once again, Aaron? It's Catherine Horrell.
It's Catherine Horrell. It's always, if it's not Catherine, it's KT. If it's neither, David Horrell's in there somewhere.
It's the Horrell family affair here in Seattle.
And it's a Horrell show for Canton.
Tonight on Very Special Blossom. 6 going to try and pin the Nemesis back deep. Bounces at about the 10 this time. Good backspin, and Canton just a little bit too slow to snag it. And that'll trickle into the end zone for a touchback.
I'm not mad at them for being slow to try and stop it, though, because if they're not careful, if they try and, stop on a dime at the 1, momentum's going to carry them into the end zone and be a touchback anyways.
So now with 9 seconds, Seattle will likely close out this quarter here. Up by 17 points here at home, looking for their first franchise win. Handoff to Wells, who gets knocked down right around the line of scrimmage. And, hey, kudos to the Canton front 4 as they have stepped things up in the absence of Chris Porter. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Seattle 31, Canton 14. Get your 4s up, your 86s up, and your 12s up in the chat. One more quarter to go of SFL action, presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Heavy formation here for the Nemesis. Handoff goes to Jalen Wells. He's had a fantastic evening here. Only gets maybe a yard as that brings up 3rd and long.
And I think that is not that that was bad blocking by any means, but I think that was some of the worst blocking that the front 5 for Seattle has had so far in this one. Although that could also that also could just be more credit to this front 3 of Canton in the absence of Chris Porter.
Blanton in trouble. Off his back foot, and it's picked off. Canton getting the turnover they so desperately needed, and that's Evan Lacey, the ball hawking safety back there.
Yeah, and I think a part of that was Blanton having to throw that ball off of his back foot with pressure coming from Gary Burney.
Yeah, it just was not a good decision by Blanton to throw that off his back foot there. He had to get out of the way because the pressure was in his face, but that was not the decision he needed to make there.
Yeah, no, I think it would have been better for Blanton to throw that one out of bounds. So far, though, that interception, the only real blemish on his game thus far.
So the Classics looking to take over here and capitalize off the turnover as Rojo gets a gain of maybe a few yards out to the Seattle 37-yard line. The SFL Network is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community, the SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone, or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL Network, where SFL creators come together. And the defense coming together for Seattle as they converge on the receiver, and Nana Leahy gets the tip drill.
Yeah, just a great... It was actually Kendra Hall herself that couldn't get her hands around it that ended up going into the hands of Nana Leahy. That is definitely not what Canton needed. Cam Curtis now with his 2nd interception on the day and gives Seattle a chance to try and chew this clock out.
Now, I will argue that that is probably not Cam Curtis's fault there.
No, not in the slightest. Maybe a bit overthrown, but even still.
Just a skosh, but either way, you're down by 17 here in the 4th quarter. You're trying to make some things happen as Patton gets a 4-yard reception there, and you gotta damn the torpedoes, just fire everything.
Yeah, and admittedly, you would expect a quality receiver like Kendra Hall to catch a ball like that, but sometimes stuff happens. It is what it is.
That should be the motto in the SFL. The SFL where stuff happens. I formation 2 wide for Seattle. Blanton has a good pocket, throws it over the middle and incomplete. Again, not quite where he was really wanting to get that football as Patton was in tight coverage out there.
Yeah, that was Evan Lacey, the strong safety on tight coverage, potentially looking for another interception, make it back-to-back. Unfortunately, that ball thrown in a bit of an awkward area for both Patton and Leahy to really try and get a hand on that ball. As you see, they both tried to catch that one-handed.
And more importantly, that stops the clock here, as the clock is the enemy of the Classics currently, being down by 17 points with only 9.5 to go here in the ball game. Offset eye on this 3rd and 6 for the Nemesis. Blanton, far sideline, caught. T. DeQueen with another catch, and looks like they're going to mark her just shy of the 1st down marker, and it's going to be a 4th down.
Yeah, and again, Seattle doesn't need to do anything fancy here. They can afford to just punt this ball away. Their defense has been nigh unstoppable, especially with getting into the backfield.
Canton almost got of Lilac Buttes on the last attempt. This time they are content setting up the return for Dillapre. He'll take it just shy of midfield, and he'll make it out to about the 45-46 yard line with 9:01 to go.
And still good starting field position, though. The defense of Canton at least trying to help their offense get something going. It hasn't helped yet thus far. but it's only a matter of time before we see a potential change of fortune.
Well, we see it on this possession here. Offset eye, setting up shop at their own 46-yard line. Curtis fires it to his back coming out of the backfield, but Komisak can't hold on to the football, and it falls to the turf.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Robert Johnson or Chris Komisak today. Both very capable receiving backs, but haven't really been able to get their hands on the ball. I don't know if they need new gloves, they need stickum, they need to throw their hands in some hot water, try and get the nerves, the blood flowing.
It has been a long trip from the East Coast, essentially, over to the West, the Pacific Northwest up here in Seattle. So maybe a little bit of fatigue has something to do with it. Who knows? As Curtis has a man over the middle, and that's Jack Wall for first down out to the 38-yard line of Seattle.
Yeah, definitely a great second play here for Canton, and kind of just what they needed to start shifting momentum a bit more in their favor.
And a good route there by Wall as well, as he was just able to get free there. And sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good. He did a great job getting separation.
So we had a look at Curtis's numbers there. Couple interceptions on his resume this evening. And he's in trouble. He's going down. And guess who? Aaron.
It's Canton Horrell.
The Horrell family as a whole has just been fantastic. And we have said it ad nauseum this evening.
Yeah, and Canton Horrell has been eating Cam Curtis for dinner.
Catherine now with 2 sacks. KT with 9 total sacks. As Curtis throwing it out to Komisak, who comes out of the backfield. And correction, 9 total tackles, I meant to say, not 9 sacks. That would be bananas.
Yeah, Komisak able to get a couple yards on that one. Still going to set up a long third down here for Canton. They're not in Rob M's field goal range, so they would have to punt this one away again.
And, a dangerous pass there, but somehow finds Twin Screw along the near sideline, short of the line to gain. And once again, they're going to have to punt the football. That would be a 50-yard attempt, and I don't know if they want to trot him out for that.
It is within Rob M's range, though, so I think it might be worth taking the risk just to get some extra points on the board.
And you see the kicking team out there. It'll be on the near hash, probably a 49-yarder officially. Good snap. Ems gets it up, and it is through officially from 50 yards, and he had plenty of room to boot, and that'll make it a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, it went from now only a 14-point game in the hand of Seattle, but definitely not the outcome Canton was hoping for. But at this point, with how tough this Seattle defense has been in this game, you'll take those 3 points.
Considering that's been the first scoring drive for Canton since the second quarter, I'm pretty sure they'll take anything at this point.
Agreed.
Patton from his own end zone, right up the middle of the field, still on his feet, and he'll get out to the 22-yard line. Coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports continues tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, when our Fort Worth Toros and Mexico City will fight for the lead in the South Division, plus live look-ins on Florida and Arizona. Next week, London takes its unbeaten streak to Los Angeles, and Florida puts their slim East Division lead on the line against Denver. For a channel guide and more info about NXT, visit NLSE.com. Blanton, wide open Patton along the near sideline and tippy-toes out of bounds at about the 27.
Speaking of playoffs, by the way.
Playoffs?
We, Cam and Mike St. Green talked about it at halftime of the last game. The playoff picture is so crazy that there is a chance that multiple teams above 500 miss playoffs and a team below 500 makes playoffs.
Jumbled, convoluted, bananas, all words that can describe the playoff race currently. As Seattle gets close to another first down there, out to the 37, and it'll be 31-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short.
That's the best run Scott Powell has gotten so far in this game. But again, it's another case of the fullback complementing the rushing attack of his halfback.
Absolutely. And as I was about to say, the clock continues to run, which is the most important aspect, with Seattle being up by 2 touchdowns. And what a penetration, what pressure from the defense of Canton to stop him for the TFL. Jalen Wells had nowhere to go.
Yeah, credit that to the outside linebacker, Adam Chance. I missed the number there for a second. I apologize. But the rookie and one of the owners of this Classics team stepping up big for his squad in order to force the punt away.
It's okay. We had to say a name that didn't end in Horrell for a change, so we had to figure out who it was. Gillipre. Good. He's had very good returns here this evening as he gets it out across the 42, about the 41-yard line. 5:27 to go. Canton still with all 3 timeouts. They've got an opportunity here, Aaron, but the window is closing.
Yeah, the time is not on their side, but Gillipre has been getting a good job of getting Canton into some pretty good field position. I think their worst starting spot has been the 25, compared to Seattle's, which has been about the 22, I believe.
Handoff to Rojo, who gets barely anything. He'll get maybe a yard or 2, and clock will continue to roll closer to 5 minutes here.
Yeah, that was David Horrell on the stop there. So the third Horrell getting called out on his solo efforts for what feels like the first time in this game.
Canton, offset eye for the Classics. Curtis, a short drop. Finds Twin Screw down at the bottom of the screen. It looked like he might have stepped out of bounds. Ref didn't call it. Gets close to the first down, and they'll go no huddle.
Now, I think Twin Screw with that spin was just able to keep his foot just that smallest hair in bounds.
First down, Kendra Hall, as Curtis finds her over the middle. Again, no huddle as the clock continues to roll.
Yeah, I think Canton wants to save their timeouts for if they score on this drive.
Curtis hit as he's thrown, and hit is an understatement, as that was a big hit by Aaron Stein, the defensive end, number 60.
Yeah, I felt that one up in the booth. That one hurt.
Ouch.
Like that's a hit like that's a spine rattler. Of course, you know all about laying hits like that, Eric.
That's why I lay the hits and I don't take the hits. Single back on second down, 4:27 to go here in the fourth quarter. Curtis, nowhere to go. He's going to check it down to Rojo. And a good open field tackle by guess who? David Horrell. Another Horrell getting in on the stop. They have been fantastic. No gain. Third down and long now. Curtis, 5-step drop. Going to fire it near sideline, and that's caught by Twin Screw.
It's a great pass.
Curtis into coverage. Wow. Where was this all game long? Gillipre with the snag there. Again, no huddle. Curtis again finding Gillipre close to the 10. Mark him down at the 11. Another fresh set of downs. Continuing to go no huddle.
It's working. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't do it. Into coverage again, and a late hit on top of it. That'll be a fresh set of downs as Twin Screw made the catch along the sideline and got hit out of bounds late.
That's going to be a fresh set of downs, and it's going to put the line of scrimmage at like the 1.5 yards. That is...
I'd wager it's the 1.5 inches.
Yeah, that is not what they needed from Kevin Smoker there.
So first and goal coming up here. And again, it'll stop the clock with the penalty. So 3:30 to go here. 4 opportunities to get into the end zone from the 1.
And they haven't had to use any of their timeouts yet.
They have not. I wouldn't imagine they would kick an onside kick at this point if they do score.
I think they might.
Curtis, end zone, incomplete. What a play by the defender, Ethan Kai, his 8th season in the SFL. A diving attempt to bat the football away.
It was absolutely fantastic defending by Ethan Kai, one of the owners here in Seattle.
we've seen a couple different opportunities that were converted into touchdowns off of plays like that. And Ethan Kai finally showed off one of his own to bat the football away. Second and goal. Curtis. Back of the end zone and incomplete. Jack Wall couldn't quite get the toe in bounds, and that'll stop the clock at 3:24. Third and goal.
Man, Seattle's making a massive stand here on third and goal at the goal line. It's
you think
exciting.
They want to get their first win in franchise history, Aaron?
It's starting to look likely.
Empty set. Third and goal from the 1.
Watch for all slants here.
Curtis throws it into coverage and incomplete. Fourth and goal now. As
Daniel
the deflection.
Valentine.
Yes, sir.
You gotta pick those off. Come on, man. Canton has to go for it here.
We'll call him Stonehands Valentine, but yes, Canton is definitely going to have to go here. They got no choice.
Slants again.
3:20 to go here in regulation. Single back is Rojo. Curtis, play action. End zone, wide open, and he overshot him. Kendra Hall was wide open, and she couldn't catch the pass in bounds. Turned the ball over on downs.
It's just a beautiful fade route, too, by Kendra Hall, but Cameron Curtis just threw it a touch too late. Oh, disaster for Canton. That being said, though, safety watch.
Safety watch is on, my friend. We saw a weird one last week for Seattle when they played Vancouver. As the pass is complete, couple of yards there, clock continuing to roll. Did you happen to see that one last week?
I unfortunately did not, but I've heard that it was, like most things in the SFL, absolute insanity.
Bonkers, bananas, pandemonium, all words that can describe that play.
Safety watch still on here for Seattle as they're still well within the shadow of their own goalpost.
And the Classics not burning any timeouts as of yet. Definite run formation for Seattle here as they are bleeding down as much of the play clock as they can. And Jalen Wells, again, patiently following his blocks up the middle and will get close to first down yardage.
Yeah, finally outside of that safety watch, though. Potential if Trellis Blanton takes a bit too far of a step back in his pass, but on a third and short like this, they'll probably hand it off to either Wells or Scott Powell, the fullback.
And if they're smart, they will take this down to the 2-minute warning before they take the snap.
Yes, they're definitely doing that.
Blanton taking his time, approaching the line. And he does let it go all the way down to 2 minutes. Seattle is 2 minutes away from getting their first win in franchise history over fellow expansion team, the Canton Classics. This is the SFL presented by APM Music. We are live on YouTube. Offset eye, 3rd and 1, 2 minutes to go. Handoff goes to Wells. He's got plenty of room off tackle, and he's going to get the first down and more as Canton will burn their timeout, their first timeout, I should say, and that'll leave them with 2 remaining.
I'm a bit upset because Jalen Wells had so much space.
Oh my gosh, I know.
A bit further outside, but I can't be mad at him for cutting it in short and trying to run out some more clock.
And you know, that may very well have been the mindset. Go ahead and cut it back inside, get dragged down, let the clock continue to roll, or let them burn a timeout, which is what they ended up doing. Wells getting snagged by the ankles this time, and that'll burn another timeout. Tackle made by Boudreau.
Yeah, I think maybe another set of downs or two, and we'll probably see Seattle hit victory formation to nab their first win in franchise history, and it couldn't come at a better time, potentially playing spoiler to the Canton Classics playoff hopes.
And the Seattle faithful are going bonkers right now, as they rightfully should, waiting so many long weeks to get their first win as that was Gears with a catch, but it was a little bit too far out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock at 1:48 and save Canton timeout.
Yeah, it does bring up a 3rd and short, though, so it's under review.
Uh-oh.
Have to see if we can get a good angle on this one, because this may go in the favor of Canton. Instead of it being 3rd and short, it'll be 3rd and medium.
Take a look here.
He's in.
Yeah.
Pretty convincingly inbounds.
After review, the play stands. The pass was complete. The catch was made prior to going out of bounds. 3rd down.
Well, the ruling on the field stands. So
3rd and short now.
Yeah, 3rd and short.
Probably going to be Jalen Wells again, let's be honest.
Still stops the clock at 1:48. A handoff to Jalen Wells would be smart here for Seattle.
Dive up the middle. Go with the stretch play that's been working so well for them this game.
And it's going to be right up the middle, and Jalen Wells has more than enough for first down yardage. Canton will burn their last time out, and they're going to have very little. They're going to have no more further opportunities to stop the clock themselves.
Yeah, I think it's at this point we'll see Seattle. I don't think they go in victory formation just yet. I think they need maybe another set of downs.
Yeah, maybe they will go to victory formation.
I stand corrected.
And Blanton will take a knee here. The clock will roll, and Seattle is cruising towards their first win in franchise history. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find their perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com.
Yeah, Canton's still in the playoff hunt. This loss, though, makes it a bit harder for them to potentially make it in. It's just how tight the playoff race is.
Most definitely. And you touched on it before, Aaron, that the playoff race right now is just pandemonium. As you mentioned, it could distinctly mean that certain teams that are over 500 may not make it into the playoffs because of how the East Division is going right now.
Yeah, like as it stands right now, there are 2 5-4 teams that are on the outside looking in because the current East leaders, Florida, are 4-4.
So we will have to see how that all shakes out. But yes, absolutely. Canton's still within the playoff hunt. Absolutely. And just with how everything has gone, especially today, it's going to make things a whole lot more difficult. But tonight is Seattle's night. Congratulations to the Seattle Nemesis for their first franchise victory. Now moving to 1-8 on season 19.
Yeah, and a much-deserved win, too. They played just an absolute complete football game. There were a handful of mistakes, yes, but in the end, those few mistakes were countered by just how good this Seattle team played, especially their defense.
Yeah, their defense was fantastic. The Horrell crew there on defense was just, you said it numerous times, it was menacing all night long. And Seattle did an incredible job here this evening, won the turnover battle, won the defensive battle, I would say, and Jalen Wells was far and beyond the better running back tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Robert Johnson did get a couple of chances to shine, but it was pretty much all Jalen Wells. He's, like, without a doubt, player of the game, but you got to give honorable mentions to both KT and Catherine Horrell. They were just all over the place. Catherine was a nemesis to Cameron Curtis and Robert Johnson in the backfield, KT Horrell and David Horrell all over the good gosh darn place.
I mean, it got to a point there where we just assumed it was a defender named Horrell that was making a stop between Catherine, KT, and David. They were all fantastic.
Yeah, a couple of great interceptions by Kevin Smoker and Nana Leahy. Evan Lacey had one too on Canton's side that set up some big plays for them. So, like, there were definitely some areas Canton can work on, but they're still definitely a playoff caliber team. Even though, again, the playoff conversation right now is it's too complicated to really put into words.
Agreed. And the player of the game honors do go to Jalen Wells. 150 yards, a hat trick of touchdowns on the ground on 25 attempts, 6 yards per carry. Very impressive performance for the Seattle running back. Well, on behalf of my partner, Aaron Alexander, and Justin Reside and Ron Haynes in the Stat Truck this evening, my name is Eric Vincent. We thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Simulation Football League. Be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's action of games that start at 6:30 Eastern Time in DC. We'll see you then. Good night.